So, the Lingo 2 store page leaked, and wow. Now, I'm intentionally not looking at the screen to not spoil myself because, I mean, even though I made the music for this game, I don't know any of the areas, so I've made a lot of videos and custom maps for Lingo, but let's not show those future videos right now. The original Lingo has come so far in terms of updates, new content, and I was never able to post a fully blind playthrough of it. I screwed up the recording and I only have audio of it, and this is going to use an entire new type of system compared to the original game's mechanics. It'll be a weird experience seeing which areas and what vibe complements my tracks. Maybe I should name this place something else, but I'll also be posting a bunch of videos about other word games and Lingo custom maps. Anyway, you might be wondering, how will I fill the runtime in a way that's not Lingo 2 related, because even I don't know at this point. Well, it's because I never covered Lingo Level 2, which was released as a free update to the original. Although at this point, this game has a lot more secret content than just Level 2, but I never did a video appreciating just how many awesome puzzles and designs there are in this. And this is basically the perfect time. Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to eventually. Otherwise, Lingo 2 is gonna come out when I haven't even finished talking about this yet. Also, Lingo Level 2 has a bunch of my guest puzzles in it. Look at that avatar. Chess Battle Advanced. So let's get into it. Now, to get to Level 2, you need to solve 222 puzzles, which I don't even think people realize, because you have to solve this high first, and then it'll say 221, and you've already missed that it says 222, right? And so you are expected to know all different mechanics of Lingo Level 1, because Lingo 2 obviously, Lingo Level 2 obviously builds on the colors and mechanics introduced. When you do solve that many puzzles, this will change to an other try, which solves to an other try. Slightly different spacing with that one. And Level 2. Now, the very first thing you'll see when you open up Lingo Level 2 is Hello Again, and this is a mint, which is one of the new colors in this map. God, this is such a good color. I mean, since High is like the first panel of the game in original Lingo, this is High. Well, maybe it's not that rigorous, but we got You Remember as well. By the way, so I'll be throwing some trivia of stuff, but this level 1 used to be more hidden in this entry room, like it was behind some column, but someone didn't know how to get back naturally from that. Anyway, so that's why that was moved, and you get this choice of 4 colored gates, and I love this effect. It's so much better than the effect in Lingo Level 1. It's crazy how, like, cool this looks. As it all turns to orange, and they all lead to their own different areas. I first went here, and you can just see this huge letter wall, but there's other areas that this all leads to, of course. More mint as well, and another new color, which is magenta. And there are even 2x2 blocks, which are used a lot as well. There were some 2x2s in Lingo Level 1, of course. Now, something a bit weird is that I would expect, like, if you go through the mint, you'd expect to see mint soon, but you don't really see mint. I mean, there's this cool globe area, but it's no mint. Meanwhile, if you go back here, oh look, mint, mint. Now, I would think, like, this area is so familiar to Lingopians everywhere. A panel here and a panel hidden behind, and, you know, 2 letters, it's High. And this is, like, referencing the entire Lingo entry room. And it's, like, cool, this brings up, like, the sense of deja vu. So this is High, Low, and also if you go here, you get memed on. It's like, it just gets sent back. Not that far from there's also these race car panels. Race car is a thing that has been in Lingo Level 1 as well. It also links up to the area we were just in. Also, this map has a lot of guest puzzles and guest suggestions. This is not by me, but like just like a ton of other people in the community had room ideas implemented in this, which is so cool. This area is one of them. It's a themed area, and I don't want to say the theme, but anyway, on to why this mint is so good. Well, from everything so far, it just seems like references from Level 1. And I also need to show off these color hallways. I also freaking love this joke. Is this even a joke? It's height matters here. This is red middle, so it's removing letters, but it's high mate, which sounds like a bit like a phrase, but whatever. But height matters. It's such a joke, because at this point, you should already know that height matters. Red is the Lingo Level 1 color, so there shouldn't be anything difficult about these puzzles. It's like but even then there's just some joke moments, like this is red bottom, so we have to remove conceptually instead of remove letters, and lotuses. I am proud to say I didn't get stuck on that, but I know people who did. It's just lotus. But anyway, after coming out of that, there's a ton of these, and you can imagine that every one of those is a room similar to this with just those types of puzzles. So whites, blacks, blues, you know. But more interesting than the Lingo Level 1 color rooms is the magenta and mint rooms at the end, which are both new colors to level 2. The mint room having all of these colors, and the magenta room having Korean, Dutch, German, English. Might as well call you the magenta. So English, it's like, it's high. But then we have French and all this. And then the ones at the top are nothing like the ones in the middle. I'd have to search this. I almost feel like this place is like giving you permission to search, because please tell me there's some player of this game who actually understood and was fluent in all the languages beforehand to get all these without looking it up. But Magenta Middle seems to be about other languages for now. And snake, sheep, goat, turkey, cow, all animals. And maybe the easiest thing for B is like buzz. And then you can feel the theme is like, it's just right there, right? It's the sounds of the animal, which would surely make you question what the hell this is. But I think the designer did a really good job tying the heights of magenta together. Now, I had to spend a lot of time showing off these early rooms because of what mint is. So, I did say it was colors before. Actually, this all solves the high. Okay, and now I'm going to show my blind reaction to when I got the theme of this freaking room. I'm just going to try this. Nope. No, it isn't. What if it is referring to every one of these on each of their colors? For example, magenta would refer to, like, one of the things up here. So then hiss. Yes! Yes! Okay, so it's referring to previous spots. That is cool, except we don't know, like, most of the damn locations. So yeah, in one word, it's literally remembering, and it's in the same spot in which it would be on the parallel side. But, of course, I had most of the rooms locked at that point, so I didn't have enough examples. I did get this white to white one, which is kind of funny, because that one corresponds to this ivory to white one. There's also the very suspicious lavender purple, which relates to a different, more difficult to spot meme in this map. For the record, when I was doing this room, so there's like more easy puzzles like berry and a cute one where the words are literally written like this bottom yellow synonym. Bottom white is synonyms, and in this one, it's very thematic with something later on as well. That these words are just very easy to access and see. It's got some really good relations like earth right here, but also excavate, exhume, and the synonym for this one is, it starts with a U, it's just unearth. And then we have roast, which and it's okay, I gotta stop getting distracted. There's too much goddamn layered foreshadowing. Also, I solved blue in this video with this corpse thing. You know, there's a theme of like widows and corpses in these rooms as well, and I don't think that even leads anywhere other than just being an odd theme choice. But look, it exists. Seriously, bride and wife. This is brown bottom, so it's after time passes. The answer's widow. And of course, it just had to be the brown panel in Mint Room references. Anyway, all this freaking buildup is for this. This is the best goddamn thing. This is a single letter, and I spammed it, and I didn't even succeed. And then when I realized it was just so insane. Like, okay, so Mint is about... It references its own room, which is insane itself. This yellow is also cool. And if you think about this, it's like, well, if the answer is I, and then it solves to I, then it would work, right? So why would one answer be better than any other? But there is, in fact, a best answer for this. Wait. Oh my gosh. Freaking, I should have seen that coming. Like, I saw someone who got in this room and didn't know what mint was, and brute forced this, and without getting the appreciation of just how good that is. That it makes even more sense because, unlike, you know, I, or A, which would only make sense or work after the puzzle is solved, this works even before it's solved by being the dash already in the placeholder panel. It's so good. The other awesome one is yellow, and I'm not even sure if this went properly I do remember it being maybe a point of contention in testing or something like that, because I do remember that I got this as a potential idea way early and was wondering if I was sequence breaking or not. In fact, I've actually done this sequence break, I suppose, while filming, because like I remember not even finding the proper entrance to the red entry until like a while. The basic problem is that you'll never find the way to get into the yellow room. It is a dead... If you look above, which you'll eventually get the roof access, you'll see there's just no way to enter this. But there is a way to enter this, and it's with appreciating a pattern that's in all of the color hallways, and even more explicit by the mint saying all here. So all, high. The answer for all the color room panels is high, and so that means for yellow, to get it, you have to aim where it would be and do it through the wall. Enough already. Best purple in the history of best purples. This room is also even such a tease because yellow does have its share of complaints because the middle version is just anagrams, and that was not the most liked thing. It actually got reworked in Lingo Level 1 to use more tops and bottoms. I don't think I ever showcased this. This is the replacement room that I made for that anagram room. Look, it's a yellow middle, but it's justified because the answer is chess battle advanced. Anyway, this yellow top, Valor Den. You've even seen this word in the video already, but it starts with L, and also, you can literally see it's okay, it's lavender. And freaking, it's such a joke that the yellow room is more about this lavender color, and you don't even get to solve. You only solve one yellow puzzle. Honestly, lavender... I really don't know the solving experience because it's my idea. But I was happy and surprised to see it in the game because I didn't know which of the ideas that... Because it was in a big idea list of potential colors and mechanics. Actually, the location that would make the most sense to learn is these, where there's some pretty straightforward middle reds, but with bottom lavenders, which solve to Den and pen. This pig pen is like the most obvious, as like where its home is. There's human as well, starts with H, the answer, and the answer is house. So you get a sense of what this is. There's castle to moat. I'm just gonna say right now, like it's about surrounding. I think hand to glove was like one of my first things that I suggested for it, and we have like chips to wrapper. But how this turned to the middles, which do exist, was very cool because it's instead of conceptually, it's about letters. And if you just look out, there's the letters. And so D. Let's look at the surrounding letters of D, and it's like O, P, E, N. So you don't know the order, which is like very potentially annoyingly anagrammy, but it's open, and then we have A, and that, so N, O, T, E. Unfortunately, there still were no lavender tops in this map. And if you think about this, interpretation of lavender is reliant on environmental. Now, later custom level creators like Souveoyusoeuts did some very interesting things with cream lavender checkerboard. Also tilting the camera to make sure no spoilers are very visible. But I love the lavender interpretation in this map. Another cool kind of recent interpretation of lavender middle, and which also could be applied to top, is in the map Try. I remember this idea being thrown around before this map got made, but the way this map makes the puzzles fair is worth noting. It's, okay, so wed feet. So instead of getting the surroundings, black plus lavender gets the innards of the word. So notice that wed feet is around the 3-letter answer that we need to get. And this indicator shows it. And the answer for this is basically a phrase you can find this like 6-4-letter word here. So it's the first word is 6 letters. It does end in feet. The answer is ebb. And the idea is webbed feet. It is what's inside wed feet. Man, showing off a black checker puzzle was definitely a cursed way to show this off. But hey, surrounding. Galactic Absinthe Addict. By the way, did you notice that the text I used for lavender isn't even properly colored? It should actually look more like that at the bottom left. Can you barely tell? Well, this is actually a meme reference to the creator of Lingo making the same mix-up with Blue Vendor in a custom map. Yes, the official creator of Lingo works on custom maps too, and makes very swiftly, I might add. Let's talk about magenta some more. So there's not even a magenta bottom in this room, and the vibe of magenta is very weird from reading these examples. I believe I was also a little momentarily confused about it. And there's even very evil beta teasers. Even if you solve this puzzle, you'll get to freaking see what this is. But bottom magenta does appear in other places. I think there's one here. Oh, that's not suspicious whatsoever. If you go here, this is also a fun moment. Oh, yeah, I had a moment like this in Palace that the creator in Lingo also mentioned, coincidentally also being in Lingo Level 2. It's, you solve this. This is yellow middle, so it's anagramming this. And then you drop it. And yeah, there's a magenta bottom right there. And it's paired with Sonata. And this entire area, oh, there's another one. And adjective. So adjective is a lot more generic than even those English things. So this being adjective may already give you a sense of what it is, but we can do some other puzzles just to get more of an idea of what this area is. Like, there's, first of all, stars is everywhere. It's stars, stars, stars. This yellow bottom, I don't think that's that involved because there's not many options, but like rearrange stars into something with top blue so it has the shun sound. And it's probably at the end as well because that's the kind of thing that ends in shun or something. And in fact, this word is constellation. So rearrange stars for constellation, pretty cool. And it gives you a sense that this stuff might all be about stars. Yellow top balloon, yeah, with star, but this is before a star, because it's brown, black, checkered, so in the past. So star, balloon, yeah, nebula. Okay, it's a nebula. So with that, and this one is supernova, which is a rhyme with Jehovah. Okay, so we know that everything is star-like here, and if you do this one, it's stellar. So that was pretty generic, this magenta, wasn't it? But hey, it is an adjective. So if that one's looking for an adjective, then this one's looking for a planet. And stars, this is mid-purple, so change some letters of stars, and you get Mars. And sonata star, this is top red, so a sound in sonata, sonata. So the main theme is that it's categorical from here, although does that make sense with animal sounds? The one word I would use to describe magenta is subcategory, and to me there is some history into this mechanic. I had nothing to do with making this mechanic, but I absolutely love the way it was handled. So I even probably mentioned this before, but one of the earliest maps, in fact the first custom map, Duolingo, had a custom color cream. You don't see it anymore, since this map managed to overlap things in Lingo Level 2 just completely incidentally in two different ways, and so later on an update had to be made to turn these all magenta, which I feel like it ruins the color vibe, because who heard of an aquarium that was about hot pink? I mean magenta. And you know, all this is subcategories of fish. Also, there was a puzzle in Lingo Level 1 that solved to thee. It was a red, but it was a red bottom, and it had the answer article the. And this was really not the same sense of bottom red as like the rest, and that's why it got changed to make room for this subcategory color. So I did wonder how this was ever going to get turned to other heights, but I feel like it ended up being really genius. You can instead of subcategory, if you think of it as type of, so that'd be like a type of star is the sun, a type of planet is Mars. The top and middle end up looking really satisfying in that, oh, it's a type of Spanish word, or it's a type of snake sound, or a type of cow sound, or a type of bee sound. And like, also, sure, you could easily turn all of the tops and middles into bottoms by just moving it down here and adding, oh, the word sound. So instead it's a bottom that says bee sound. But it's just so good that it uses the established height mechanics in this way. Gee, I showed this room before, but I think a puzzle people also have highlighted is this one. Perpetual. This is a chain puzzle, and it goes from a white bottom, so it's synonym, and then you add letters to it with the blue middle, and then you bring it forwards in time with the brown bottom. So this is a 3-step puzzle, but you do get this panel, which lets you get the synonym of perpetual. So it starts with C, and I'll just give the answer right now, it's constant. And you add letters to it, and then bottom brown. Now, there's a globe, and I don't know if I should say, okay. So the theme of this place is locations around the world, so constant. Add letters, Constantinople, and then Istanbul. this entire floor uses some cool chains, like unfashionable, going to chic, and then adding letters on it to get Chicago, or adding a sound to orc, and then this step is both a bottom brown and a blue middle. So after you do the step of adding sounds to orc, you're also going to add letters, but that exact same step of adding letters works as a brown bottom. So look at this. It goes, this first step is York, then you add letters to York, that also brings it forward in time. It's New York. There's also this curse construction at the bottom floor, which I think I remember, I definitely had to ask why this part of it worked, because the length is suspicious. It's 6'6" and 6'7", and this prince clearly goes to king, and then some blue middle is added, but also it like there's like a side connection for some reason. And then I eventually figured this was United Kingdom, because it has the king in it, and it's like, it's got the 6, which means this is United States. But the way this works, it's so ridiculous. The first step of the synonym of quick is stat, like, it's like, give this guy a medic stat, or pronto. That's where stat comes from. Let's shout out some guest rooms. So here, you can easily get this as your first thing that you ever do in level 2, just by looking at the painting. And it's maybe confusing what the hell this all is. Especially this mathy orange, incomprehensibility. But it's all 2 letters, and there's even a ceiling. And I mean, now I'm not very gullible, but it sure seems like it says hi. And yes, this makes sense with orange's mechanic. Yes, this is a rhyme of pie. Yes, the word hi is in there, not even continuously. Face goes, so this is a chain as well. Remove part of a face, and there's something, part of a face, get a homonym of that part of the face, and then add letters. Well, it's high, and the mid steps are face to eye, as in EYE, and then you add the H. It's because homonym for eye is I. And then this is what up. The mid step of this anagram is what up, and then it goes back in time, slang-wise. What's nice about this one, by the way, this chain here, is that it's so similar-ish to a puzzle in the globe room. It's face, and then add letters, but remember, this is back to countries and stuff, so it's not I this time. It starts with C. Also, maybe a little more unexpected what part of the face this is, but it's chin, and then add A. I also must appreciate, okay, so I actually took a long time to find this, because I didn't expect this freaking thing to be on the roof and in this place, but there's a hole here. The Lonely. And when you solve it, okay, so all of these areas, including that high area, are by the same guest author. This is a reference to that guest author's name, Corporation. And when you solve one of these, well, I guess the only one of these, all of the areas that were suggested by that creator are revealed to be physically right next to each other. And that's great. The Lonely is also a joke of, like, a title for a room with only one puzzle. It took me so long to find this guy. Anyway, this area was also based on an idea that I suggested, this hand-themed area. Though I kind of wonder, like, the hand here is very overt, but this is a very nice tutorial for bottom magenta as well. And you can see the difference in the bottom red hand versus the bottom magenta type of finger treatment. Though I kind of wonder if it would be funnier if it wasn't so obvious, so that people could be surprised that it was a hand. And there are some, like, very future foreshadowing moments that it's funny to watch people discover after they've completed the whole level. But this isn't that one. Another awesome guest area is this one, with a lot of the suspiciously repeating letters. I kind of think it's mildly underclued, but it's a pretty great gimmick, and the gimmick is even used in the title, which is so awesome. I'm just gonna say what it is right here, because it works so well in the title. So, the gimmick is that the blue adds the same thing twice, and we know that this is the final puzzle in the area, so it's gonna have a "the" in it, and the "the" is added twice in the E reel. So you have a "the" in there and a "the" in here for ethereal. Right next door from that area is Sauve's tree, full of puzzles that give you the same part of the word, this tree is pronounced like tree, and it's written like try, though. And it highlights words with different sounds with the same spell, like per and pear. So you want a word with this pronounced like per, and one of them is pearl. Here we have peer and pear, so spear. This is a great area, like it's this tap tape, so this is pronounced like tap, so that's tapestry. Although some of these are some like really obscure words like I almost forgot this while deleting the progress, but it's tapenade. Is that a type of tape grenade? Don't even get started on these ones. There's this inverted one where you have the men sound, but it's mean as the letters, so that's meant. So that part is pronounced like men. And then mean meant the reverse, so mean. So you need this sequence of letters pronounced as mean. So menial. I don't think people even realize this was Christopher Sauvier's guest area. Chess battle advanced. Hey, here's another guest area. So the theme of this... Okay, by the way, we got lime, which is another color introduced in level 2. This guest area is small, but it has a cool theme. And also, this forge thing, if I knew one of the global memes of the map, this would have been so much easier, because I got stuck on this. But if you don't get the joke and solve it, you're locked out of an area for a long while. Ugh. Anyway, the creator of this guest room then ended up working with the creator of Lingo on a special timed area way late in the game. I wonder if this is the video that's going to talk about it. Just battle advance. So speaking of lime, you're probably going to see them first here, and they feel very underclued and unspecified. Now you might come in here, and this has same opposite. Doesn't really seem like this place has much of a purpose, but... like, it's just comparing blue and red as being opposites, and black and white as being conceptually kind of opposites, even though they're not really. But now... word same. This is English same. So with that, you could probably tell now that lime is just the opposite of magenta, to a super category. But if that was enough, there's a room full of lime puzzles that will really make it obvious. I think the most obvious one is... actually, never mind. I don't think this is the most... well, probably it is. I thought it was salt and pepper or something. But, like, chocolate and brunette clearly give the sense of brown. Surprise and disgust are both emotions. Wrench and screwdriver both tool. Mauve is purple. Hexagon and star... those... star is maybe a bit more abstract, but it's shapes still. And this room, this freaking room. I thought it was unfair at the time. This blood navel one, like, I wasn't aware of it, but it's... both of those are types of orange. And finally, the funniest one, I think, because they're a bit more odd than usual types. And this type of lime is actually more appreciated by that custom level Luodonga creator. But the whole realization is spearmint and peppermint being things, so... keep this room in mind. Meanwhile, there's this room. This is a cool idea, and it used to be a lot more terrible of a solving experience before Souveoyusoeuts suggested some better chains for it, but it is a bunch of chained bottom blacks. So, I don't even remember. It's not even concealed. So these bottom black is opposites, like antonyms. So opposite of desperate is hopeful. And glum, I don't remember. It starts with a D, dark. Okay, and then it goes to... it's not even light. Bright. Dull. Sharp. And funnily enough, that dull sharp is the thing at the start of this. So, now we have reveal. Okay, obscure is how it starts. So it could be the meaning of, like, opposite obscure as in widely known. Ubiquitous doesn't fit, though. Oh, it's... is it... no, it doesn't work. Oh, it's obvious. It's like obvious or obscure solution. Now, again, it chains into another bottom black afterwards. Sacred. I don't remember. Normal. Okay, I know this one. This goes because you might also be able to tell this by, like, if you think about, like, I remember thinking about things that could be long antonym chains, and one of them was the odd. And then odd because you can pun odd and even, but then go uneven. And now uneven can be like, as in the context of uneven ground, so maybe this is like smooth ground or flat? Yeah, okay, oh man. Sharp. So the joke of that is the music meaning of sharps and flats. Don't tell anyone, but in music I don't think of things as being sharp and flat anymore, really. Anyway, oh yeah, this one was hell, wasn't it? I think this is the one that like Souveoyusoeuts mentioned not being changed or something from the original, or not changed that much. These are long words. Like, this is why I even like suggested a feature where you could spam the hint button to get more letters, and this would really help that. Anyway, it starts with EXP. It's experimental, theoretical. I think the theoretical one is like, I just remembered that one, but and this one might be easier because there, like, if you just imagine the word theory, there's the opposite of in theory versus in practice, so you get practical. Also, by this point, people may realize the ending word is 5 letters here, and so is the ending here for this. So you actually get to solve this from both ends once you notice that, which is very cool. If I recall correctly, the original version doesn't even end in all sharp, but I don't know. I never solved these puzzles. Like, I didn't. Like, I solved a couple in the old version, and then they got changed, so I don't actually know what the ending words were going to be, but I don't think it was ending with all sharp. So now you can see, oh, it's the reverse. It's the antonym of both sharp and practical. This is so awesome, and this is also an antonym of sharp that I don't remember. Blunt, oh my god. So that one is more of a synonym-ish of dull, I guess you could say. Like, the way it's the opposite of blunt is probably as in direct in speech or something. Subtle. There we go, okay. And now this thing, probably the best pun of the whole set. Like, even better than the sharp flat one, which is, like, very unexpected. So, practical. You might say the opposite of something practical is no point to it. In other words, it's pointless. Chess battle advanced. So part of the global, not very easy to understand puzzle is this pyramid thing. Now, there's a bunch of these gigantic structures over the map. There was some meme of them not quite looking like pyramids at one point. There was like a stream, a Discord live stream, a tip stream to make the pyramids look more like pyramids, I just remembered. Anyway, that sure was an event. But this countdown, it's not clear what caused these to go down, and there was an update to make it more obvious what it was. Because you might notice something suspicious, but it just isn't obvious. It's just too subtle. It was added to the purple pyramid. So even to get here, you need to, like, look here. It's peer. This is especially because you have to peer over and interpret this object, is also why I had to get changed. The answer is pyramid, of course. And now, orange. This being a purple bottom, you'll need to replace conceptually, and you're replacing a part of orange. I mean, it's purple, and you note that this drops to 6. Now, most puzzles in the map don't make that drop at all. And I'll just say that what this is, like, this countdown is for real now. It's referencing all the suspicious colors that have been here for a while. Like, this roast also is, like, brown, and it's, like, why is that such a faraway, obscure synonym? Well, if you knew the color meme, you would know that just drop the brown pyramids countdown by 1. So you should be on the lookout for these specific color answers. And by the way, it's not just colors in general. This map actually does have that color theme going on. It's kind of a weird color scheme, but especially because it's not the new colors, right? I believe this map introduces 5 new colors, but only one of these is the new color. And the others are just more like advanced Lingo Level 1 colors. Now, when you enter a pyramid, you immediately see this 12, and it's like, immediately, what the hell is this new color, which is cream? Well, here's a moment where the environmentals are obviously doing something to it. Like, you have dark, and this is a bottom black, so opposite of dark is light. And also the word handle, but that's a middle purple, so we gotta change something from it. And this clearly looks like the word candlelight, so there we go. So these creams are about combining. So rats, but this is black middle, so we reverse the letters. It's middle, so it's letters. And trout. Now go super category on trout, and you get fish. Now we have middle red, removing letters, and we have mermaid. And all these pyramids are focusing on cream to some extent. But also on the sides, there are peaks at these, which are very odd. I remember not getting them for a while, but it turns out these are actually well done as well. There's also windows on these. For every pyramid has these weird windows with these textless magentas, except one with the the color on the back is also just brown, and it's just tulle. So at least you know what the heck this is this time. This one is Saw. Hey, what's this? Hmm. This also introduces this moment, which I love this moment because I've seen so many people ask for help on it. But it's like, it makes so much sense that it would work like this. So, read Ivory. So, like, you look at this and maybe you think, well, am I grabbing 2 letters from the left or something, and then a 2-letter synonym for ivory, and then trying to piece that together? What is that? Well, no, because height rules, and middle is letters, so bottom is conceptual, like the rest of the game. So red, and then synonym for ivory is white, so red plus white. Then they proceed to do the same meme, but with the top now. So steel out. Opposite of it was obviously in now. Synonym for steel, that's 3 letters, that's Robin. But then this is also used in, and then we have cyst as a white male, so no change on the word cyst. But the fact that this is a cream top, and so it's about combining sounds, it's insist. Which I think also got a bunch of questions asked about why that worked that way. I also like to appreciate this puzzle. This is just great. I love when puzzles have, like, such similar looking prompts, and seriously, you could, like, only do this in such a satisfying looking way with Lingo, because if you wrote out the instructions, the elegance of this look would be completely lost. Anyway, this combo of blue and black, there are some more out there ways to do it, but a very simple is, like, uninfect or something like that, or perhaps the more real disinfect, and that leaves you a 3-letter word for insect, and it's disinfectant. And of course, it's cool that the way that the ectant, the ents part of that works is nothing like the meaning of the insect. The orange pyramid also has creams, but I swear they are presented in the most intentionally confusing way. Sand, pitch, heat 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 8, 3, 8, 6, 1, water, dirt. Thank you, Lingo Level 2. Very useful. Actually, that 2 is not 1 is not part of the pyramid. But anyway, I remember that it took me a while before I had this thought of what this 2 is doing. And it's very clever and cool how they made the prompt of these meaningful. So the answer starts with G. It's G, it's glass. And note that it's sand and heat that's giving this. Now, if I go here, I think it's even maybe more obvious here because of how this is clearly not for anything else, but dirt and water is mud. I don't think I ever got stuck on the fact that, like, these also, it's counting the spots away from that panel, even though it's piercing through a wall. This orange area also has a window where you can peek through and it says shape. This one is circle. This one really trolled me. It's music, steps, and I thought like tempo or something for a while, but it's way more meme than that. It's probably harder for me than to do this than the ordinary person's idea, but it starts with D, and the answer is dance. It's not steps as in any musical meaning at all. It's just physical steps. Puzzles. Now this one I don't have any, I don't like at all. Tempo, and the opposite side is pitch. Those are very specific music related things, and there's even a thing where like changing speed is the same as changing them both, but no, that's just not, it's so genericized. Much like this one. The purple pyramid is also operating under a similar idea, but it's cream middles all the way, and it's using those suspicious things. And if you combine them together, you get stuff like reconnection, and then this is 7 away, and oh, well, you have to go look all the way, you know? This is what happens to be recollection instead. But hey, here's a purple window. For all the difficulty, this area is like basically one wild goose chase of finding these, and it's honestly funny. Like, I like it. Like, this one is piercing through the floor back into the first floor for blasphemy. There's 15 distance nonsense. You gotta look there and there. And then there's an any. Any. Oh, it gives you just a V. How helpful. And here's a 0. Now, I think this gives you too much info that you don't get to you don't necessarily need to appreciate the meme that starts with bizarre and then ends in a Y. It's bizarrely, but also you would get the rest of the info with a jump. The Z should have been hidden up there, at least. And then there's a sus. And then there's the mint pyramid. which of course the orange and purple involved distance-based creams that were middle and bottom. Now this involves tops, and you have kite white. Well, it doesn't really work the same way as that brown pyramid did, and it's honestly pretty strange interpretation of cream that no other cream uses, so it's not exactly the most consistent thing, and it makes people wonder what the hell this all is. But kite, white, you can combine that kind of to get white. Or you could combine cats and hat to get cat. Uh, uh, it for some reason this uses so many spelling based things, even though top is supposed to be pronounced. I don't this okay, let's just not think about that area. Honestly, it really isn't a bad mechanic or alternative type of mechanic, but wow, does it screw with the elegant height setup this game was going for. I wish this puzzle, there's also a 0, and it's copper and hopper, and that gives chopper, even though that doesn't, in any way. I wish there was like a block here, so that you needed to spend the effort and notice there was a block, that you need to jump on it, and then look at the top of that 0. Like you had to do with that purple pyramid puzzle, but more annoying. At the end of each of these pyramid areas, you get this, and this moment is cool because, like, you can see this is kind of bottom lefty in that this kind of looks like a rounded corner, and if you jump in it, it makes up the entire shape. All 4 pyramids, you jump into something at the end, and like if you enter from orange, you'll come out at the top right of that, which is cool. And okay, so you enter at this area, and you type in the mints for these. So all those, of course, like you remember that they had windows for these, and these are art, tool, shape, and emotion. Those are the things that those corresponded to. But did you also remember that these freaking things were here all the way back in the lime room, corresponding to what color they were? Shape, mint, purple, tool. It's so good. It's so, like, it's just wow. And it's got the whole brown, orange, mint, and purple, which are the primary like primary colors, I guess you would say, of Lingo Level 2. You can even see, oh, should I have spoiled this area exists? This is like the very final of the map where you can see the entire map from a bird's eye view. But the mint pyramid is there, purple is there, and then on this side it's the brown pyramid, although this is really, this is messing up the view, dude. Anyway, after all that, there's actually a white pyramid at the very end of all that, and this is just a series of puzzles where words are shared. So discourse, and if you walk around... What the? Welcome back. Hidden. Challenge room. Anyway, communication. And this one is a middle red, so you remove letters, and you get union, which, by the way, appeared somewhere else in the pyramid. Like, this, I don't know if I can show the entire experience, but basically, like, words are shared so much in this, like, basically no one can complain they didn't know the word in this pyramid, because the words are just shared all over, and you have to just... Look, like, communication is shared, and that is, like, the theme throughout all 3 floors of this pyramid. There's, like, a fusion, and this one is also union. Got stuck on this as well, but underperformed borrow. This is a 2x2 black, so technically there could be a middle black in there, but no, it's both bottom black for this one. We just don't know the heights in a 2x2. This I took a while on. I really didn't get it, because I thought that borrowed would be antonym into something more like stolen or taken or something. But no, when you get the underperform antonym, it's just so immediately clear. It starts with E, though it's excel, and is the opposite of underperform, and then it's then lent, which is also the solution for prevalent over here. And there's this amazing final joke. So glad that I get to show it off in a video finally, instead of worrying about us spoiling this, and then show my reaction to this moment. But when you go in here... How did I get here? What? Where am I? It's such an unexpected level of subversiveness. This... Also, the reason I didn't know where this was is because there's a giant yellow pillar blocking it the whole time until you, like, land down there, and it's funny, it's like a mini version of the entire world. But, wow, I'm not... Okay, there. So, I suggested during that live stream, or close to that pyramid building live stream, that they should have red around it. Unfortunately, like, that level of satisfaction hasn't been implemented. Like, ceiling panels don't already don't really have a defined role, but it would be so much more amazing and internally consistent for this to be revealed as a red, but nah, but still, getting interrupted mid-solve, it's just such a surprise, and it's so good. Oh, God. And yeah, here's the pyramid set up, a mini version of the level. You also get to appreciate how, like, this is my guest area, and you can see that stuff is built around it, but the color scheme is very visible. And you know this looks entirely different without my guest area being here too, making up these specific colors. One of my favorite highlight moments in this map for sure. Also, I haven't mentioned this, you know, I'm not going to mention it. It's too ruinous to spoil because the intended puzzle is a super slow burn in the original experience, but this scoreboard and place where you can track all of the theme puzzles you solve, guest areas you fully solved, and stuff like that, you probably see this area so many times throughout the game, and it's hiding a meme so massive, and it's gonna be so ridiculous. When the player finally realizes, I put it at the top right, upside down. It's so good, though. However, one less slow-burny thing, maybe, it's just because it's this U panel. So this is the save file name. You would know that for Lingo Level 1. We're gonna need to go in a little version onto the challenge room, because in that white pyramid, I showed that suspicious room with a bunch of text, and it's like, welcome back. Now, I did show off wall sniping earlier in this video, because you do learn wall sniping as part of level 1, and in this, this map tries to theme wall sniping as whispers. I don't think anyone really gets that, but the welcome back, this, you need to know the actual meme interpretation of this, because it's so good. Welcome back. So this becomes a big meme repeated over and over in the game, and in fact this was a thing in Lingo Level 1 as well, but it was not easy to notice you could do this exact same thing in Lingo Level 1. Welcome back. So how about let's go all the way back. So far back that the freaking panel stops rendering. This is the back. Now let's type welcome. Freaking damn it, it didn't work. That's a very common experience. There. So there's no invisible larger hitbox. It really is specifically like that, and so it's missable. But this is the challenge room, and it resolves a bunch of other suspicious things, like this one and this one refer to things you might have noticed as suspicious moments, but only now are you going to get a chance to finally resolve them. This is a guest puzzle that in retrospect, I made it. In retrospect, probably not the easiest solve, even though I was hoping that this would be a very direct antonym, but no, it's not even an animal egg. Let's just say that. Also, this was a Discord lingo puzzle, not by me. This is a pretty cool chain in this room, though. Wolf. I wonder if this also was a guest puzzle. It's not marked anyway, but either way, it's cool. So the wolf sound is howl, but you remove letters is the next step. So let's go to owl, and now you also need the sound of an owl. So hoot. So it's a nice chain. After you do all the challenge puzzles, you get this U panel, and wow, I guess I gotta reveal my save file name. I really didn't plan this out, did I? But it's very generic, sorry about that. But here's the most insane part of this, and it's just using, like, mechanisms that this game already coded in that it's swapping a panel. Like, no additional code was needed to make this work. So now if you go back to the entry, that's gone. And you can just walk through. Now, okay, it's mega countdowns on my current save file, but these are like the very, very endgame rooms. Well, no, they're not the very endgame rooms, because the very, 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 very endgame is... You know what? You know what I mean. And not to spoil one of the big slow burn trolls, but this also... This set of red panels is... I wonder how many people have noticed this. This has gotta be intentional. Sorry, if you haven't played, you're not going to get it all, but the reference is amazing here. The distance between first encountering these puzzles and then getting the info that makes you realize what that's all hinting at all along is probably over 12 hours. One of the puzzles in the very, very end game is this. Now, this is a fun meme because it originally was just this. Now, there's actually a teleport away from here that basically gives you the answer immediately. So, like, if you go here, what the heck was it? It's like here, something less. And that is enough of a similar wordish indicator to understand that, like, it's more. But the joke before that was implemented was that this level was originally released almost finished, but not entirely finished, and the later area from here is basically it gives you some instructions, although it's not direct instructions, of course. It's another puzzle to figure those out. But it would basically send you to the very, very, very end game. But before that existed, this was like a meta joke on there being nothing here, because it was like, oh, there's nothing, but when I'm gonna add content later, it's gonna be more. And so there was kind of a question of, like, how will this puzzle make sense in the future after the more has been added, you know? Okay, I gotta end the video here, but man, so glad I finally get to show off some of these awesome puzzles. I hope everyone looks forward to Lingo 2. Man, this is just gonna open the rabbit hole of me having to cover all of the very, very, very end game content. Anyway, bye. Oh, last thing, just before I forget, it's funny how many kinds of notation exist to combine the two results of two panels at this point. I honestly draw parallels between Duolingo Level 2 and Palace because they share this theme of doubling that's kind of surprising, and there's some surprising overlap too. Like, Palace literally has the doubling mechanic, but there's no 2 in the name. But Lingo is 2x2s, creme de la creme. And later in an update, this gray 2x2 thing. And of course, Duolingo is entirely about combining two words into a bigger word. And as for for Palace, you need to wait for the checkers and plus pink and salmon video. Goodbye!